So the Philadelphia 76ers are entering the 2025 NBA season with a completely new identity, a whole lot of new faces, and a revamped system and roster that is going to be really exciting to watch. I'm so excited for basketball to start. I need it in my life right now. August has gone on for so long. It felt like 85 years. I need to see all of these new pieces play next to Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. I need to see Maxey get even better. I need to see Embiid have another MVP level season and perform like an MVP and maybe win another MVP. Who knows? I need to see how Paul George works with the Sixers system. I just can't wait for basketball. I'm going crazy, but scraping for so many things to talk about. But, I was looking at all the new additions we made and all the positive reactions that fans had to said moves. And I was thinking, it's a lot of wings. Bringing back Kelly Oubre, signing Paul George, of course, signing Caleb Martin, getting a lot more shooters, Eric Gordon, solidified backup center. We know all of this. But I believe because of all of the upgrades we made to the roster, there's one player on the Sixers who has gone under the radar, who was sort of swept under the rug and not really discussed as much as I think he should be discussed. And I'm talking about Ricky Council the fourth. I'm going to tell you why you should look out for him this season and why I believe he's going to have a breakout year with the Sixers. What's up, Sixers Nation? Enzi here, back again with another Fire Sixers video. If you guys are excited for the season, if you love talking hoops, please, I recommend you like and subscribe on this video. But I already did my intro. Let's just get into it. Let's talk about Ricky Council IV, who I believe is the most forgotten Sixer and is going to surprise a lot of people this season. I was really impressed and intrigued with the way Ricky played last year. And if you saw him play in garbage time or in actual legitimate, NBA minutes last year, you would recognize that too. There's a reason why fans were so excited when he got signed to a standard NBA contract. And that season, huge disappointment, but Ricky was one of the bright spots. And anyone who watched him play can really understand that he was just such a satisfying player to watch, because he's the type of player that Joel Embiid and the Sixers in general have needed for so long, even with all the depth wing pieces that we added. He's just a versatile, athletic wing who can dribble, pass, and shoot and make something out of nothing. He understands when the offense gets stagnant and can just do something with it. You know what I mean? He's not afraid at all to absorb any contact and get banged up. He's just everything Tobias Harris wasn't, a just physical player. Tobias just shied away from contact all the time, and that made a significant impact on his ability to, actually do anything for the Sixers in a meaningful way. But for Ricky, it's really satisfying to watch him play because he just makes basketball look so simple and so easy. His simplistic mindset of just being programmed to just do something with the ball, just put the ball in the hoop, do anything in his power to do so. It's something akin to Maxey and just their alien ability to contort and twist their body in ways that are extremely impressive, to say the least. But for Ricky, his versatility as an interior scorer reminded me of Kelly Oubre, but actually kind of with a little bit more finesse, and just his ability to catch and shoot as well. I think that's a skill set that can be really valuable for the Sixers going into the future. And although we did add a lot of wing players this season, I think Ricky should still get at least some run on the bench. Now, people are going to say in the comments, oh, NZ, we're just overrating Ricky like we do with literally every young player. And do we overrate our players from time to time? Sure. We did that with Shake Milton. We did that with Paul Reed, who, in their cases, they just overachieved, and that they were performing way better than what we thought they actually were, because we were comparing them to such, old trash players who didn't even deserve to be on the court. But for Ricky, I feel different. I feel different because he's just a lot less of a chaotic player than Paul Reed was. Just a lot more finesse, a lot more patience, a lot more, willingness to just play with tempo and not, go out of bounds sort of what is expected of him. But he could just sort of just flat out do more than Shake Milton was ever able to do. And I think some performances did highlight that. And if we just take a look in the box score, some box score games that I think are really valuable, this one right here. Against Indiana, it was a loss, but in 12 minutes of action, he went 3 for 6, 11 points, and shot 6 free throws. This is just another, piece of evidence that contributes to him being such a bulldog, just such a bulldozer, someone who just doesn't care about getting, rough. And that's something that we saw with Tobias again and again. He just didn't really have a whole lot of free throw attempts because he just shied away from contact. But with Ricky, he really doesn't care at all. He's just going to get to the rim. I can't overstate that enough, just how much of a breath of fresh air Kelly Oubre was. Look further down the box score, he's actually getting legit minutes now, have some other good performances like this one right here. This was the game Embiid actually got injured. It was a blowout, but regardless, 8 free throw attempts, 17 points. So he is just a dog. He is just going to take the ball and do whatever he can in his power to make something happen. And he has a tendency to draw fouls, which is super valuable too. This game, when we almost beat the Hawks, not this one. This one against the Wizards, 10 rebounds, 19 points. So although, we sort of view him as, an instant offense, electric piece, I think he could actually do, a lot more on the glass, too, using his athleticism and just his programming. He's just one of those guys who comes out of nowhere, who just does something you don't really expect something to for him to do, if that makes sense. Look further down, even in a loss against the Celtics, a blowout against the Celtics, still performed well, 16 points, 6 for 8. We just really didn't have enough talent at all to compete with that team. But, so that's pretty much it for Ricky's box score. He sort of got shut down for the rest of the season. But I think that with all the pieces that we added, Paul George, Caleb Martin, Kelly, that can help Ricky in a lot of ways, sort of like how Maxey was sort of mentored by James Harden, and that those players, they can make Ricky better. Paul George can kind of take Ricky under his wing, but I just hope Ricky gets more time to play because I really enjoyed and really think that his skills can really help the Sixers in a lot of ways off the bench. He's obviously not going to start or anything, but I think, Coach Nurse should definitely consider giving Ricky some run. We're going to have Kelly, we're going to have Caleb, we're going to have Paul, get a lot of the minutes, but off the bench, who else do you really have at the wing position? Bona's not really going to play much. You got Andre Drummond as your backup, you got Eric Gordon, Kyle Lowry, but I guess with Sally as well, but Ricky is sort of your next wing after that. So who knows whether he's going to get any run. I hope he does, but those are just my thoughts about Ricky Council. I think he should definitely be talked about more, and I have a lot of stock in him going into this season. But, if you agree with me, please make sure to let me know down in the comments. But for now, peace.